everyone, S.E. Smith here, and I want to say hello and happy day before St. Patty's Day. I hope everyone had a great Friday. The reason I am doing the Throwback Thursday today instead on Friday is because I wanted to give everyone a very special announcement, and I want to say hi Dawn, hi Norel, hi Angela. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Oh, Kristen is here. Hi, Kristen. She gave me a double heart. Shitsu. Now, I'm probably saying your name wrong. Hi. And, oh, yes, it is. Happy St. Patty's Day in Australia. So we'll get to celebrate it twice with our Australian friends. Hi, Christina. Hi, Chris. And I'm really excited. And Sherry's on. Hi, Sherry. And Trinity. Hi, Trinity. Angela, Angela, I hope you're feeling better. Everyone, Angela had been very, very ill for a while there, so I'm glad that she's back on. Okay, let me see if I can say her name. It's Shizua. Shizua? Did I say it right? I may end up calling you Shishi. The kids used to laugh at me, or I'll call you Sweet Pea, because that's what I end up calling all of the students that I had trouble saying their name. It took me like half a year to learn one of the teacher's children's name. So I finally figured out that if I can't do that, then I just call everybody Sweet Pea. And they asked me why, and I said, it's because sweet peas are beautiful, and they smell good, and they just make you smile. So if I say your name wrong, I apologize. Hi, Rita. Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Mishu. And I probably said that one wrong as well. Hi. Oh, my goodness. I'm just going to call everybody Sweet Pea. So I'm excited tonight, if you can't tell. Thank you. And I'm so sorry about if I mess up names. Julie is on, and Julie is actually in the other room. I told her I was going to drag her in here, and she's like, no, I'm just coming on. Hi, Kat. And Kat says, hi, I adore you. I mean that in the most literary way. And I totally accept it in the most literary way. Lori. Hi, Lori. Hi, Kristen. Hi, Deborah from Sydney. She made it. Yay! So let me get on with my special announcement. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. A couple of big things are coming up for me. One is, let's see if I can get this so that I can actually share it with you on the Facebook. So give me a moment, and drum roll. I have been asked to write in Pets in Space 3. I'm really excited since Pets in Space 1 won the Library Journal Award for the first book, which was my anthology with A Mate for Matrix. The second one also won a Library Journal Award and the USA Today, and that one, of course, had Pearl's Dragon in it, and then I added a story when I released Pearl's Dragon. And this story, at first I wasn't sure I was going to be able to, and then I said, no, it's such a great cause. So I made the decision, and I said, I'll only do it if I can write a full-length novel. So I am happy to announce that for Pets in Space 3, I'm going to be writing not a novella, but a full-length story, and it is going to be, trying to decide which one to share. I'll share this one. And here you go. This is going to be my story for Pets in Space 3 is going to be Heart of the Cat, the third book, and the Seraphim Warriors. So you are going to actually get to get the complete story of the third book, which is with Riley And you'll have Riley and Box and Viper and Tina, and of course Grandma Pearl will make her appearance. And you will end up having the full story in Pets in Space 3. So, yes, finally. I was trying to decide which cover to share with you. But I wanted to share this with you. I'm super excited about it. The whole story and the whole premise of it has got me super wound up about, the continuation of this series. And it'll be interesting when you read it if you can see some of the other connections to maybe another one of my series that will be in it. So I wanted to share everybody with everyone about that it was one of those stories that I knew could not be done in a novella. So I didn't want to do discredit to you guys or to the story. So when I talked to the two organizers, I asked them very specifically, I said, this is the story I want to write, but I need to write a full novel. I said, will you have an issue with me putting that in the anthology? And they said no. So I was excited about being able to do that, as you can probably tell. So expect The Heart of the Cat in the next Pets in Space anthology. The other thing is, of course, tomorrow is St. Patty's Day, and on Tuesday I have the release of The Draglings and the Magic Four-Leaf Clover. That story is wrapped around the St. Patty's Day holiday, and it's an interesting story in that it actually ties several characters throughout the series in with the story. And it focuses more on the three littlest ones. So you will see all of the draglings, but you're going to really get to know more about the three youngest ones, which are Mora, Hope, and Leo. And I really like the way their personalities and how they looked up to their older cousins. And they're growing up with that as a role model. And again, poor Paul is a bit of a... he's got his hands full because Mora is like the total opposite towards compared to Trisha. So I'm going to go back right now and I'm going to answer some of the questions that are coming in, because I see that people are beginning to come in and they're like, oh my gosh, now I know what the surprise was. So Angela is like, stop it, yay. Bonnie is like, I'm so excited. And the Seraphim, Angela's like, yes, Seraphim, finally, I know. A lot of you have been asking me about the story, and this year I'm devoting myself to my original series that I've been working on, with a few side exceptions because of the fact that I do love. I will have the second book in Dust, which I've had a lot of people ask me about. It was the gold medal winner in the Wishing Shelf Book Award in the UK last year, and I had the most incredible message, and many of you may have read it, that was posted. So it really encouraged me to want to write that story as well. Angela said, we in Animal Rescue love these books, and I think it's so important to give back, and I'm thrilled that as an author there's so many things that you would like to be able to do, and sometimes you're not sure how you can do something to make the world a better place. And being able to write a story and contribute to a charity that is so worthy and does so much for so many people is very humbling, but it's also very, very fulfilling. So I'm very happy to be a part of the Pets in Space anthology, and I can't say enough for Veronica Scott, and for Veronica Scott is also Gene Walker, and Pauline Jones Barr for being, for inviting me to be a part of such a wonderful opportunity. So I'm glad to be a part of that. It comes out October the 9th, which is actually 2 days before my birthday. So it's also great timing, as I see it as kind of like an extra special birthday gift to myself and being able to give to this charity. Will it be released in audiobook? Yes, it will. One of the things with the anthology is that it does not hinder me from going ahead and having the audiobooks completed. So it will be also available in audiobook, and hopefully I'll go ahead and schedule it with the narrator now so that he knows to block out the time that he'll need to go ahead and get that done. So yes, Angela asked, will it be out in audiobook? And I plan on continuing to release all of my books in audiobooks. I may get a little bit behind. Mostly it's not so much me behind, it's the narrator. I have to work around his schedule. I'll show you something. When I was looking for a different narrator because there was a conflict of interest in, not interest, but in timing, the narrator that I normally use, David, was booked up and couldn't do one of my books. And so just to give you an idea, you see all of these? These are all people. This is just a few of the ones that I interviewed. And there's a lot here. Each one is a separate narrator. And these were the short list. And then out of the short list, I'll give you, I actually had listeners, people who listen to an awful lot of audiobooks, go through and listen for specific things, because I figured who better than to have help me make the decision to read the stories than the actual listeners. And so, I mean, they had, notes, I'm going to kind of cover the name, but they did notes of what they were expecting, what they were listening for and what they liked and what they didn't like. And so out of this, we picked the top 3, and then from those 3, we kept listening and listening and listening before we narrowed it down. But I have to admit, I still like David the best out of all of narrators that we've listened to and everything else. I think David and I have that connection where he can connect to my characters and my world. And I know that was a long explanation about the audiobooks, but I wanted you to kind of understand the process behind it. Audiobooks are not cheap. The average audiobook costs anywhere from $4,000 to $10,000, depending on the length to produce. And I honestly, I didn't know that until, of course, I became an author. And then listening and understanding what the narrator goes through. It's more than just sitting in front of a screen and reading. He has to have a very specialized booth and a lot of specialized equipment. And anyone who's actually sat down and read a paragraph and realized how many times they've had to reread it for every hour of completed, what they call per finished hour, it may take 3, 4, 5 hours to get that 1 hour. So there's, for every finished hour, and if you have an 8-hour book, he may have been working on that for 40 hours or more to get that finished 8 hours. And then it has to go through editing and the engineering to take out any breaths or air conditioner noise, or somebody decides to go mow their yard and the sound came through the booth. And then you can imagine being in a booth, which is smaller than my office. It's kind of like being in a good description would be a bathroom stall might be a good or a little bit bigger than a regular shower stall. And being in that for 8 hours or more a day, it can make you go. So just to give you a little bit of background and information about what it takes to be a narrator, because they're performing these stories, they have to read. Usually they read the book beforehand which, so if you've read a book, you know how long it takes for that. And they usually make annotations in it so that they know, okay, this is this person speaking. And then they have to match all of those voices. And then when they do more than one series, he goes back, he's actually got a library with video clips that say, this is Vox, and this is what Vox sounds like. This is Zoran, this is what Zoran sounds like. And so he has to go back and he has to listen to those voices to make sure that he gets them right. And then he's got to perform in front of everyone, you know, and by performing, he's sitting there in front of this screen talking into a mic while he's reading this. And it's a lot of work. I tried doing it, and after about an hour of reading the same paragraph over and over and over and over, I just said, forget it. This is just way more than what I realized. So Virginia says, you're killing me waiting. It makes the book enjoyable when I get to read them. If it helps, Virginia, it drives me crazy too, because I know I need to sleep, I need to eat, I need to have a life, I need to spend time with my husband, and it's like all I want to do is say, leave me alone and just let me sit and write. I don't want to be bothered with anything else, but I want to find out what's going to happen next. And so I have those same thoughts and feelings because I don't know what's going to happen until I actually start writing. And then the characters start telling me, this is what happens. And sometimes I'm like, holy crap, I wasn't expecting that. And I'm like, are you sure? And they're like, yes, this is what happened. And I'm like, okay. So I get just as excited because I'm finally seeing what's going on. Narelle says, yes, it will, Angela, but not for at least another 6 months. So I think she's talking about the audiobook. Alejandro's Kiss is in an ebook form. It is in Kindle Unlimited, so it's only, in that way it's only on Amazon, but it's also available in ebook on my website, or in my store. Let me clarify that. I have Touch of Frost and Alejandro's Kiss are my only 2 Kindle Unlimited books. And the reason I put those in there are because of the Magic New Mexico Kindle World. They have that, and they turn the Kindle World also into KU. So that's available in Kindle Unlimited. So I'm trying to keep those together, but I am able to offer them in the EPUB form and the Mobi form. So if you read on iBooks or Barnes & Noble or Kindle or any of those, you can still get Alejandro's Kiss on my website and through my store. And if I do any updates or anything else, it automatically updates the story. So you'll also get any updates that go through. And if you have any issues, then we can make sure that, you know, it's taken care of. But it's very easy to download. I've actually done it. So if you know, anyone who's not on Amazon or that doesn't use a Kindle, those books are still available, but you have to purchase them through my website instead. So I apologize for that, but I was trying to also help these other authors out with the Kindle world and, you know, with everything being in the Magic New Mexico. So that was kind of like my compromise to them. Lynn says, anyone else feeling the need to go back and reread them all? I've actually had quite a few people that have said that they've been going back and rereading the stories before they release. And I want to, for those that enjoy doing that, thank you. That's a fabulous compliment to an author. For those that do not, it's like I explained to one lady, you don't have to worry because I usually put enough information that it kind of triggers the memory of what's going on and gives you enough background so if you're like, oh my God, I can't go back and I don't want to reread Riley and Vox, or you know, Riley and Vox and Viper and Tina. If you want to just start with The Heart of the Cat, there'll be enough in that it will help carry you through so you won't be lost. Hi, Janet. Hi, Lori. It will be in ebook form. So, she said, Virginia, it is in ebook. I explained about, having put it in KU. So if you're not in Amazon for Alejandro's Kiss, you can get it through my store, and you can locate it through my website. Alejandro's Kiss is oh, yes, it should be an audiobook. Has it been released yet? I need to double check that. But it is, yes, it has been. Alejandro's Kiss is an audiobook. So that one has been done. Now, Taking on Tori is still in production. So that one is still in production with the narrator. He got slammed with another traditional book that's like a gazillion chapters of really dry history, and it's like all this science stuff, and he's like struggling to know how to pronounce all of the words. Deborah says, such a wonderful cause and good for me for being involved. Well, like I said, I've been very fortunate. Touch of Frost was my first book that I did for charity, and it was for a humane society, and they raised a lot of money for the animals there. And I've done several others, and they've all involved animals, which I love animals, so that's a natural way for me to go and to be able to contribute. So I'm excited because this one is helping animals and it's helping our vets. And I'm a Air Force brat. My dad was retired Air Force, and my husband was in the Air Force. My son was in the Air Force. My nephew is still in the Air Force. My brother and brother-in-law are both retired. So I've definitely come from a military background. Jamie says the Seraphim Warriors Book 3 comes out when? I love that series. October 9th. And it's going to be in the Pets in Space 3, and it's going to be the full story, the full novella. So, and Lynn says, oh my God, we share a birthday. No way. Woohoo! And we also share it with Eleanor Roosevelt, which I was always very, very proud of because I was always admired her as, having, out of all the women in history, I'm thinking, this is a woman who was very, very strong. And they said at one time she's the first woman president. So I was like, I can handle that. Virginia says, thank you so much. Audiobooks are awesome. They bring your characters to life. And I really think that David does a fabulous job at doing that. I think what really helps me is he works with me so well. And he's so patient with me as I'm learning the process. And, I'll make a mistake and he's like, no problem. He's got my back. And I think that takes a truly incredible partnership, teamwork, to, not only take these stories, but to bring them to life. Hi, Dawn. Linda says, finally have a live picture. Yay! I know. Our internet on one of them, we have to have two because of my husband's business. And one of them was down last night, so I was saying all kinds of nice words that you'll probably read in Edge of Insanity. Heather says, can we pre-order? If yes, when? I'm going to give that to Norel to answer. Norel will know more because she's helping us handle the Pets in Space 3. And she will let you know when the pre-order will be available for that. Hi, Nikki. Yes, and Nikki says that's crazy expensive. It is, and that's one of the things that I think it's important. As me, I've learned a lot now that I'm an author, and I have a much greater appreciation. So when someone says, "Oh my gosh, that's so expensive for this book or this," the audiobook. I don't want to pay that much for an audiobook. And you got to remember that the author actually gets a very small percentage of it. You still have to pay for the narrator. A lot of cases, and I'm telling you a lot of industry stuff here tonight, but a lot of times some authors will do what they call a royalty share, and this is good for anyone who's deciding if they want to be an author, and just as knowing what's going on, it's just good information. And the royalty share, what happens is that their narrator and the author split whatever royalty is, so they only get 50%. Well, there was a big to-do right now, and I'm not going to go into details about that, with the new Audible romance reads. And it turned out that for basically 1,000 minutes, which is, I forgot, 400 hours. Anyway, it turns out to be a lot of hours. The author was getting 57 cents. 57 cents. Just a little, not even. And then if you did the royalty share, the author's getting basically about 23 cents per book. And then the narrator would get 23. And you can take say a $4,000 book that they just had to pay out, how long it would take it, and 23 cents to earn back. And I read one of the reviews. It was interesting. The person went off and they were like, well, they sell billions of books. No. On average, you probably sell maybe, some don't even sell 20 books a month, if that. So they're making 20 cents times 20, so maybe $4 a month. And you have to pay for this up front. So there's a lot going on in the background that people don't understand. So if you get an author that gets really upset or somebody says something like that, it helps you understand that, people are like you. They have families and they have house payments and they need groceries and this kind of stuff. And you have to understand, if you're paying these kind of fees out, it's not just uploading a file. You have to pay somebody for this time. And like anything, you don't get it for free. So enough of the industry stuff. Lori says, well, darn it, I wanted to ask a question and ask you a question in my mind. And she says, and my mind went blank. Well, if you remember it, just ask, and I'm scrolling down so I'll see it. Tristina says she's listening to me while she's shopping at Walmart. So I'll say hi to all her Walmart shoppers. Lynn says, it gives me a greater appreciation of my audiobooks. And there is value there. With audiobooks, you have to understand all of the equipment and the training and the time that goes into, one of the things I could do is I could ask David if he would mind doing a video, and I know he did this on audio, I think it was Audio Gals. I'll have to double check, but he actually did it where he's reading one of my books, and you can see him in front of the mic, and as he's reading it, and he's like, oh, I messed up on that. And I always do that. And then he has to go back and reread it. And then, of course, he's got all of this recorded. Then they have to go back and they have to cut that out. And so there's all of this going on. But I'd like for him also to give you an idea of what the equipment is like, so that you can get a better appreciation. So of just what it is to be in it. And if you've ever seen a music studio and a video where they have all of those elaborate equipment, and they've got the microphones and they've got the headphones and all of this, and you start pricing it out, it gives you an idea that this is a professional process. It's not something that you just sit down in front of your computer and do. You have to have all of the proper equipment. And some of those mics can cost thousands of dollars because they have to get it where it doesn't do the lisp and it doesn't do the talking in the background or the air conditioner, like not having the ceiling fan going because you'd hear that. So there's a lot going on. So Angela says there's nothing like your characters taking the wheel and taking off, and there isn't. There honestly isn't. Virginia says, I'm very grateful for your stories. I'm just impatient and excited because your characters are so great. I love you. Thank you so much. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Crystal. Aloha. And welcome Friday. Oh, Elaine wants to go. My big question is, when will I see Bahadur's story? And Bahadur is going to be coming up, I promise you. I've got to write Adelar's story first. But he is actually going to be showing up in part of Twin Dragon's Destiny. So you will get to see and meet him again. And Don just asked me, and yes, that's going to be Adelar's story. So I'm getting back in shape. I'm getting, all my stories in order. I'm going to be finishing up what I'm working on, and then you're going to be having Adelar, and I've got Jarman and Rorik's Revenge, which is back to Gracie's world, which I'm looking forward to doing that. Oh, and I have to share this. I thought it was really kind of funny that I had somebody mentioned that I needed to write more in the Cosmos Gateway series, and she says it's been 3 years. And then I pointed out that one, I'm writing 2 books this year for the Cosmos Gateway series, and I wrote Tilly Gets Her Man, which was Tilly and Angus's story, and that one's already been released, of course. So that's 3 stories, so I could say 1, 2, 3, so that would be 1 a year. Maybe a little bit of tweaking there, but that's 1 a year. Laura says, Barnes & Nobles, is it easy to download to my Nook for my website? Yes, it is. All you do is when you go in, it'll ask you what format you want. And you'll pick, for Barnes & Noble, you'll do the EPUB, which that's the format they use. And when you click on it, it downloads your book. Just like it would if you go to Barnes & Noble's website. So there won't be any issue. And if you have any problems, we're right there to help walk you through it. So no issues. Barbara says, love all your series. I reread them all the time. Hi, Angela. John Riley says, I love reading the series before reading each new book. So everything is fresh in my mind when I read the new one. I love your books. Thank you. Tristina says, I hurriedly checked out so I could listen. I think the last time I was on, Tristina was in the movies, going to see the Black Panther, which was excellent. Oh my God, the women were awesome in that movie. Angela says, Air Force. Yes, our whole family is like Air Force. Although I did have my uncle in the Navy. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Jen. Hi, Dorothy. Pets in Space 3 will be available for pre-order on July 20th. So mark your calendars. July 20th, you can pre-order Pets in Space 3. And again, I will be writing Heart of the Cat, which is the 3rd book, and it's going to be the entire book, the full novel of Heart of the Cat, the Seraphim Warriors, Book 3. And Linda, I agree. 57 cents. You can't even buy a cup of coffee anywhere for that. I don't even think you can get it at 7-Eleven. The buy link for anyone who's interested, Narelle posted that for the Draglings and the Magic 4-Leaf Clover. She's got it right here down below. So if you guys haven't pre-ordered it, it's only 99 cents. And it is, the story, I absolutely love it. I fell in love with Leo. And Mora, with her and her Princess Swan, and it's like, you better do what I say. And they're having to go rescue their dads. And I will tell you, there is a part towards the end where I just talking about it, I start tearing up. And this time it's with Hope and the twin dragons, her daddies. So I'm not going to say anything else about that, but I will tell you, you may need tissue for that part. So Deborah says, when I read your stories, I always try and picture an actress's face that fits the description. Let's see. It helps me to bring them to life. When you are coming up with my female characters, do I have someone in mind that I'm describing, an actress or friend perhaps? A lot of times my characters have some basis on real life people. Riley, my best friend growing up. Their coloring may be a lot different at times. It depended on if she dyed her hair or not at that time. But she is basically, Riley is based on a real life person who was actually a bail bondswoman, by the way. And then Ariel, I hate to say this, is based on my son and his love for animals. He's the one with the rabbit that's going to end up getting to be 25 pounds. So a lot of the characters do have a base in real life. There are some that after I see an actress or I meet someone, I found the perfect actress who I think would make Jessie come alive. And we've actually been doing a lot of talking. She's in LA right now. And we've been talking about how to bring Hunter's Claim to the big screen. So that's another project that I'm working on. And Julie says hi from the spare bedroom. She's through that door. For those of you that are interested in the Draglings Color and Activity book, Narelle has also placed the link down below. And there are actually 2 versions out. So if you look along my line of books that I have available, I have 2 different covers. One has got the black writing, and that is the color version. It's the more expensive one. Anyone who's ever bought ink for their printer knows that the color ink is where they give you. They'll sell you the printer cheap, but it's getting you to buy the ink is where the expense is. And the color ink, it does tend to be more expensive. But the coloring books themselves are absolutely beautiful because you do get the color version. If you keep on going down, because it just came out, there's one with the blue cover and you'll see a heart on the front. And that is the black and white version. And that one is where, hold on, I don't have a copy of that one yet with me, but I can give you an example. So if you see this one is in color, and you'll have this in color, and you can do the drawings down here, then this would actually be where you would color it in. So this would be black and white outline so that you can do the coloring instead. Now, still going to have the same stories, so you'll still get the same stories. There's a few images that are a little bit different, but just a few. But I'll give you another example. Like in this part where you can do the coloring, but you have the dragon that's colored, then he will actually be outlined, so you would be doing the coloring instead. So, and that is half price. It's $12.99, so it's a lot cheaper in the black and white. Now this is the color version, and then the black and white one will actually have this in blue, and you'll see a heart right here. So anyone who's interested, and this is more than just a coloring book. It does have the stories. It does have the stories with the original artwork. And it also has the coloring. And it has activities galore. And they're all based on, and you can do your own drawing and illustrations. And then again, you have two stories in here. So there's lots and lots. And you can see how thick it is. It's not a thin book. There's a lot going on in it. I also have, and I'll show you, Pearl's Dragon is out in paperback. I'm excited about that. And in the back, you have The Great Bunny Hunt. So you have that full story there as well. And this is Pearl's Dragon is out. Bonnie says, I love listening to your audiobooks. It's funny because my husband has just gotten into audiobooks, and he doesn't listen to mine. His are more about, you know, Stephen Hawking and listening to anything to do with astrophysics and astronomy and things like that. But he's really, really enjoying it. He's like, oh my God, I can work and listen at the same time. So he feels really great. Mary says, all your hard work writing stories and you only get 50 cents. That's messed up. And that's, I mean, when you look at it, I'm glad that you're realizing that, and you think, okay, well, you get 50 cents, and if you get 1 billion people downloading your books, then you're making a lot of money. Well, in reality, like I said, you don't get billions of people that are downloading your book because not everybody's going to like your book. There's always that, it's like that, you know, most of the people are here, and then you got that top that may get a lot of downloads. And you got to realize that I'm an indie writer, and so are a lot of the others that are doing this. So we don't have the backing of the huge traditional publishers who have been doing this for hundreds of years and who have all of this vast network and resources. So, you know, I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm just trying to explain the process that happens, and that some people think, well, it doesn't cost anything for you to upload a book. You got to remember that there's the editing and the covers, generally months and months or years of your time. And it would be like you going to work for, you know, say you go to work for 2 months and nobody pays you. So, or you only make a few, you know, a few dollars for that months of time that you've spent working. And it's not, I generally work 7 days a week, and I put in about 12 to 14 hours a day. So it's not like, you know, you just take time off and you just go do whatever. You're always kind of working. And if you were to ask any of the authors that you read, they would tell you the same thing that I am. So I'm not just making it up. Tracina says she just bought some color pencils. I think she's ready. I had one of the other girls say that she doesn't have the patience to do coloring, but she wanted the book because it had the coloring book because it had the stories and stuff in it. But she's got a cousin who loves to color, so he's going to do all the coloring for her and then give her the book back. Hi, Krista. Linda says she has her Draglings pre-ordered. Alejandro's Kiss should be on there. I'll find out what's going on. It should be on there. Amy says, I love, 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 love your stories. Thank you, Amy. Narelle, I'm not talking to you. She's been going Jarman. And I have to tell you, I'm so excited about that story. I went ahead and got the cover for it. And I've got it ready to go. So it's like pushing to get these other stories done because I want to know what's going on with them, and then I'm going to just focus on Jarman's story. Stephanie, hi Stephanie. Chris says, having a hard time finding the Dragling story through Barnes & Noble. There should be the link there. If there's not, then I'll make sure that I have the link and I'll post it for you, Chris. Dawn said that she would go to the movies to see that. And that's one of the things that we really want. Kelly is watching. Kelly, I hope you don't mind. I'm not going to say your daughter's name, but Kelly's daughter was one of the ones who is reading Dust. And I was just so thrilled that she's actually reading it out loud to the other students because she's enjoying it so much. And now they want to know what's happening next. So it's really exciting for me when you have, teenagers that are reading these books and they've enjoyed it so much that they're sharing it with their friends at school. Hi, Angie. Hi, Rosalina. Hi, Becky. Narelle shared the buy links for Pearl's Dragon if you haven't gotten it. And like I said, it also, I probably shouldn't have gone to see Black Panther, but I did kind of like how they have the outtakes at the very end. So you watch the movie and then you see the credits and then you go to the outtake, which I kind of use that same formatting with Pearl's Dragon. So you have Pearl's Dragon, then you're going to get samples of some of my stories, and I put in several chapters of quite a few, I'd say 4 stories, so that if you haven't read those stories, you may want to. And then I have the full story for The Great Bunny Hunt. So if you haven't, make sure you read through the credits or at least skip through the credits so that you get to the end. Angela asked, do you get more than 57 cents per book for the paperbacks? I love the Audible for driving to work. Now, remember that the money for what they were doing with Audible is for this new romance subscription that they were doing. And then when they discount it to 99 cents without telling you. And they've pretty much got all control. We have no control over how much audiobooks or paperbacks are sold for. And paperbacks, believe it or not, paperbacks are even smaller. Even with the traditional authors, you're probably going to get far less than 57 cents. It could be anywhere from about 6 cents per copy to maybe in the 20-cent range, if you're lucky. Paperbacks are very, very difficult to make any kind of money on, unless you're a huge author and they're pushing you. And you've got to remember, we're also not in the most Barnes & Noble. We're not in a lot of the Walmarts or the Targets or anything else. We're at a very narrow distribution for that. And it's shelf space, As many of you, the reason you don't buy paperbacks is because you don't have a lot of room. So that's the same thing with stores. And if they don't turn over fast, then they get rid of them. And the authors tend to have to eat the cost of any books that are returned. So Terry says, I always read your books first, then listen. Haven't read one yet that I didn't enjoy. Thank you, Terry. I know I write a lot of different books, different genres. For example, like Dust, and then I wrote Voyage and Project Ulysses, and I have my Spirit Pass and my Second Chance, and then of course my sci-fi, and then right now I'm doing the Seven Kingdoms, which is kind of a contemporary fantasy type, and then my Alliance, which is more of an urban fantasy. But it's just the way my mind works. So I appreciate that, some people they're able to understand my need to kind of fulfill those parts of my life and my writing skill. Angela says, if you got $1 for every time I read or listened to your books, I'd owe you about $150 to $200, which makes it a good value for you. That means it continues to bring you enjoyment. I think that is kind of true, like when you go to buy a DVD. And, you look at the cost of most DVDs, even when they, a lot of people try to wait till they price them down, but it's that enjoyment, and it's the hours of enjoyment, but it's also the fact that you can watch them again and again. And I think that's what I like about books, is I've got, thousands of them on my Kindle where I've read, and I love the fact that I have them there, and I can go back and I can reread them at any time, or even just parts of them. Sometimes I don't have time to read an entire book, but there's a scene that just sticks with you, and you read it because it makes you feel good, and you enjoy that. Angela says, when you're an indie writer, you pay for everything on your own, including ordering print books to sign and give away. And yes, and I do that frequently. In fact, at the majority of my book signings, and especially the ones overseas, because I didn't want to have to deal with foreign taxes and all of that, I'll buy the books. I have to pay for them, of course, and then I turn around and then I give them out. And I give one book per person. And it's, in my way, it's also my way of giving back to the readers and saying thank you. And hopefully they'll read them and they'll enjoy them. And if they do, then, maybe they'll go buy the next book in the series if I write it. Or they'll say, hey, I read this book and it's really good. Like the young girl that's read Dust. And I don't want to say her name because I don't want her mom to get upset, because I don't know. I'm real careful about doing stuff like that online. Deborah says, will the book become available to purchase from the Amazon Australia site? Which book is that? Make sure, I'm not sure if you mean the Pets in Space. Yes, it will be. It will be available wide. If there's another one that you need to know, let me know. Hi, Hazel. I actually met Hazel when I was at a convention. I'm like, yay, I know her. She's an awesome author, by the way. And Rosalini said the Audible version was out March 1st. I think that was Alejandro's Kiss. Yes. Hi, Trisha. I've been reading up. I hope everything's going all right. Courtney says, can't wait for your next masterpiece. Your books are something I look forward to every time. Thank you. Thank you. Narelle said she posted, I'll put my fingers right here, down, make sure that you read down, the links for the Barnes & Noble copy of The Draglings and the Magic Four-Leaf Clover. So if you're with Barnes and if you have the Nook and you want to purchase The Draglings and the Four-Leaf Clover, she's got the link for you. Emma said, bad weather is making it very hard to follow, so I will have to watch later on, but I'm so excited about the books you have coming out, and I can't wait to read them. I love your characters. Hope you all have a great night. I hope you have a very safe one, Emma. Take care. I know what it's like. I had that this last week when we were up north, and we had over 10 inches of snow. I made my sister actually drive because I've never driven in snow before. So I made her drive us down the mountain and through the snow, and I'm like holding on, and she's like, it's okay, I know what I'm doing. Deanna says, when does Pets in Space 3 come out, and when can we pre-order? Pre-order is July 20th, and the book comes out October 9th. So mark that on your calendar. Trisina says, I never get tired of Tink's Neverland. Helen, hi Helen. Hi Sandy. Sandy says she loves the new coloring book. Oh, and Deborah says the coloring book. Yes, the coloring book should be available. So you should be able to have, they should both be available there now. The black and white one Hopefully it's replicated through, but they should be available on the Amazon Australia site. And I can definitely get Norelle to check that because Norelle's in Brisbane. So if she doesn't mind, I know she'll do that for me. Don goes, when is Heart of the Cat out? It's going to be out. Pre-order is July 20th, and it is coming out October the 9th. And it's going to be in the Pets in Space 3 anthology, and it will be the full story. So no novella this time. I'm writing a full-length novel. I've gotten permission to do that. Linda says, I read one of your books at night in bed to relax as I love the humor and the characters. I think you're really going to love Edge of Insanity. The relationship between Lena and the girlfriends that she's trapped with, on this spaceport, they have such a good sense of humor with each other, and they work so well together. And then poor Edge, you throw him in there, and he's just, at first he's a little overwhelmed because, the girls are like snapping it, and he's just not used to all of this going on. And of course he's not up to par either. But it's really funny how he's, kind of getting in with it and going along with some of the stuff that they've done. And just their personalities and their interactions. And I think you're really going to enjoy it. Erin says, I started reading your books about a year ago. I now own most of your books, both written and audio. The audio books are perfect for when driving to shows and hours of braiding horses. Super excited to hear that the next Seraphim Warriors book. Thank you. Another really funny book like Riley. Yeah, this one is going to have a lot of humor in it. She has, I don't want to give too much away yet, but she has a really quirky sense of humor. And of course, she's going to, there's a lot going on in the story, but there's also, it's going to be interesting to see who sees the connection. So I don't want to say too much because I'm kind of curious to see who will see the connection and to which series it connects to. Annette says, hi, read most of your books more than once and had a blast. Hi, Claudia. Linda says, not on amazon.com.au for coloring book. I'll find out what's going on. It may just be that they haven't picked it up yet, but it should come through. Part may be because it's through CreateSpace, but I believe that they're supposed to be doing it there. And if it helps, I'm going to be working on a downloadable version so that those that have tablets that want to do the online coloring, you'll actually be able, I was doing that with some of it, where you can actually download it and put it in a free app, and then you can actually color it on, and then like erase it if you want to do it again. One of the things I could probably do is I could work with Norelle if she doesn't mind, and maybe we can work out a way, or even if I can figure out a way to do better shipping, I'm gonna, because I want to save you guys as much as I can, then you could order through my store and I can ship it to you. But it may be cheaper for me to ship a lot out to and see if I can't get them. Let me work on that. My brain's going now. And I'll see what I can do to help those. Nothing, yeah. Riley is kind of a one-off. And like I said, she's based on my best friend growing up. So I have a lot of pretty cool friends. So I think you guys will like her. But I don't want to write, not every character is going to be exactly the same, but they all have that little bit of a quirk personality. But Riley is definitely a one-of-a-kind spinoff. Nikki says, all right, let me go back down. I missed it. Ah, Nikki. Where's Nikki? I gotta find Nikki. All right. Um, Riley, Nikki says Riley is my goddess. And she also wants to know, can I order paperbacks directly from you? I would need 2 copies of each. And yes, if you order the paperbacks through my store, then I autograph them and I ship them out to you. So if if you wanted any of the paperbacks, then I pretty much have everything. And one of the other things I'm excited about is I'm doing my first local book signing tomorrow at our library here in Fort Pierce. And I'm nervous about that. I think more, even though I've done book signings all over the place, I will go ahead and I'll get you the website store. It's basically http SESmithFL.com/store, and it should come up. But we'll post a link down below for you. So anyway, I'm going to be doing a book signing tomorrow morning at the local library, and so it's kind of exciting, exhilarating, I guess you could say. I've been to conventions in all different places around the world, and then I finally get to do one here at home. And I think I'm a little nervous about doing it, but it's also going to be fun to see that. And Norel has put down here where my store is. And Angie says, I absolutely love Riley. That's the one book I can read over and over again. And it's funny, I had what was it? Somebody gave me a 1-star review on her because they thought she was like white trailer trash or something like that. And that she was slutty and this, that, and the other. And I'm thinking, she's a friggin' virgin. How could she be? It's like... But she has a sharp wit. And some people found her irritating. And I think it's just because they didn't get, that quick wit. And not every book's going to be for everyone. But I really... I fell in love with her personality because she's got this huge heart of gold. And she doesn't let anyone walk over her. And honestly, if Fox would have found anyone else, he would have walked all over the woman. And if Riley would have found any other guy, then she would have walked over him. So they made the perfect couple. And that they were both strong personalities, but they clicked. They understood each other. Linda says they didn't really read the book then. That or they recognized themselves when she was going through the Mean Girl stage in high school. And I think we've all had to deal with that at one time or other, whether we were part of the Mean Girl group and realized, uh-oh, that wasn't so smart, or we were the butt of the Mean Girls and then we were thinking, well, I'm going to be the geek and I'm going to do better. Don says, I have read most of your books and I love them all. And Linda says, I have the store now in my favorites. Thank you, Norel. Tristina says, when is my next book signing? I do know that I've got the one tomorrow morning, which I'm like, trying not to stress. I'm like, hot flash, hot flash, hot flash. And then I know I'm going to be doing one in North Carolina. So if anybody out there is in North Carolina and around May 5th, if you are interested in attending a book signing, I would absolutely love to see you. It's going to be in Sparta. It's a small town, but it's got a lot of character. And I'm going to be doing a presentation and a book signing there. So I'm excited about doing that one. And then the next one after that, I'm trying to get everything set up to do one in Roswell, New Mexico. So fingers crossed that I'll be able to do that one. They're doing their Alien Festival. So it's going to be very warm from my understanding. But I think it'll be a lot of fun to go and be a part of the Roswell, New Mexico Alien Festival. Nikki says, when will I be signing in Virginia? And Nikki, I need to talk to you. We need to see how far away we are, because where I'm going to be at is right on the Virginia, North Carolina border. And maybe we can work something out that weekend. So keep your fingers crossed if you're not busy. We'll PM each other and see what's going on. And Donna says, if you do one where I live, I'll be there. I'll have to see, because I'm trying to work things out so that I can. And Tristina says, awesomeness. I want to go to that one. Let me know about the New Mexico one. And Tristina, I will. Tristina sent me this really cool puzzle last night, and I'm like sitting there, okay, and it took me like, 4.5 minutes to put it together. I was having fun. It was like one of those, online puzzle I love. Hi, Jody Ann. So Jody Ann just came in. I just wanted to tell her again that we are Pets in Space 3. Pre-order is July 20th, and the release is going to be October the 9th of Heart of the Cat, the book 3 in the Seraphim Warriors series. So you're going to get the third book that goes along with Viper and Vox, and see what happens next in that world. And I'm excited to share that. Hi, Emma. The Roswell, New Mexico one is the first, I think it's like the first weekend in July. So that's one of the reasons why I know it's going to be hot. Anything about coming to Kentucky, Tennessee, or Indiana? I will find out about that one. I have a friend who lives in Kentucky, so maybe I could see if she wants to do something, and maybe we can work something out so that I can come up there and we can do it. I actually don't live that far from where we. It wouldn't take me that long to get to the Kentucky, Tennessee one. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Lauren. So, a recap of tonight. There are The Heart of the Cat is coming out. The Draglings and the Magic 4-Leaf Clover is coming out on Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed that one. To me, it was a joy to write, and to see the dads in a different way as well as the kids in a different way. And the goddesses. Oh my gosh. The ending totally took me by surprise. I was not expecting that one at all. And then the coloring book, for those that are interested, I have both the color version, which is a little more expensive, and then I have the black and white version, which is about half the price, but it's 166 pages, and it's got all kinds of activities, 2 stories, and the coloring book as well. So there's a lot going on, and right now I'm going to say a wonderful good night for Friday night, and I'm going to start writing again. I have a lot to do. Anyway, I hope everyone has a wonderful night, and I'm going to say good night, Glenda. Good night, Carrie. They just came on. Make sure you read the comments, because I've got the post of the special announcement for tonight, and I'll see you guys next Thursday. Take care. Bye.